So, good day everyone. We are the Group 4 and we are going to report about the North American Free Trade Agreement or NAFTA. So, when we say NAFTA, it is a trade pact between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. It is first created on January 1, 1994, when Mexico joined the two other nations. Well, it was first created on 1989 with only Canada and United States as the trading partners. And it was created again on January 1, 1994, when Mexico decided to join them as their trading partners. Also, NAFTA was inspired by the success of the European Economic Community in eliminating tariffs in order to stimulate trades among its members. So, ang reason ani nga nung na-inspired ang NAFTA sa European Economic Community, kay they believe that establishing a free trade area in North America would bring prosperity through increased trade and production, and makakreate sad siya og millions of well-paying jobs in all participating countries. And NAFTA was negotiated by the three powerful persons, namely the United States President George Herbert Walker Bush, Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, and Mexican President Carlos Salinas de Gortari. So now let's go to the trade agreement. So when we say trade agreement, it is any contractual arrangement between states concerning their trade relationships. It can be bilateral or multilateral. So when we say bilateral, it involves two groups or two countries. And on the other hand, multilateral is involves three or more groups or countries.
When we say free trade it is an international trade left to its natural course without tariffs, quotas, or other restriction. Free trade occurs when goods and services can be bought and sold between countries or subnational regions without tariffs, quotas, and other restrictions being applied. Let's proceed to the goals of NAFTA or North American Free Trade Agreement. When we say goals of NAFTA, it is aimed to increase cooperation for improving working conditions in North America by reducing barriers to trade as it expands the market of the three countries. The goal of NAFTA is to eliminate all tariff and non-tariff barriers of trade investment between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The free trade agreement was to reduce trading costs, increase business investment, and help North American be more competitive in the global market.
There are pros and cons of NAFTA. The first pro is NAFTA helps increase trade. NAFTA more than tripled trade between Canada, Mexico, and the United States after it was enacted. The agreement reduced and eliminated tariffs. Overall, there was $1.0 trillion in trilateral trade from 1993 to 2015, a 258.5% increase in nominal terms. Sa Bisaya pa, ang NAFTA makatabang nga mo daghan ang mga trade. The second pro is NAFTA helps increase economic output. Greater trade increase economic output. The U.S. International Trade Commission found that full NAFTA implementation would increase U.S. growth by as much as 0.5% a year. The third pro is NAFTA helps create jobs. NAFTA's stronger growth created jobs. According to a 2010 report, U.S. free trade agreements, the lion's share of which stemmed from NAFTA, directly supported 5.4 million jobs. Trade with these countries also supported 17.7 million jobs. The fourth pro is NAFTA helps lower the prices. U.S. oil imports from Mexico cost less because NAFTA got rid of the tariffs. That reduced America's reliance on oil from the Middle East. Low-cost oils mean lower gas prices. This creates lower cost of living including lower food prices. And now, I will pass this to Miss Flores for the fifth pro.
Good day everyone, I am Sweet Melody Flores. And now for the last advantage, which is NAFTA help with government spending. Each nation's government contracts became available to suppliers in all three member countries. Now let's go to the cons of NAFTA. First is job losses. Certain estimates indicate that it lead to job losses. A 2011 report from the Economic Policy Institute estimated a loss of 682,900 jobs. NAFTA brought more jobs sa kaning tulo ka countries. However, certain industries kay naapektuhan og gayon which is result to job losses. Kay mas gabi naman ang competition tungod sa kadaghan sa business, nadyo ibang mga businesses and industries nga masira. Next is lower wages. Job migration suppressed wages. Companies threatened to move to Mexico to keep workers from joining unions. Without the unions, workers could not bargain for better wages. For the third, farmers are out of business. NAFTA put Mexican farmers out of business. It allowed U.S. government subsidized farm products into Mexico. Local farmers could not compete with the subsidized prices. As a result, some statistics estimate that 1.3 million farmers were put out of business.
Another disadvantage of NAFTA or North American Free Trade is poor working condition. Poor working condition due to the trading of other country. And next is environmental damage. Early 1990s scholars and activists argued that NAFTA would have mostly negative impact to US-Mexico border, creating water scarcity and increasing air, land, and water pollution, degrading ecosystem, and causing health problems. And next is decreasing truck safety. NAFTA service sector chapter included a requirement that all three countries' highways be fully accessible to vehicles of trucking companies based in any NAFTA nation by 2000.
So now let's go to the renegotiation. Representatives from Canada, Mexico, and United States began renegotiating the agreement in August 2017. And ani nga time, miabot na si Donald Trump and he was determined to scrap US involvement and to renegotiate NAFTA. Gi-characterize sa ni Donald Trump nga ang NAFTA daw ang pinaka-worst trade deal that ever made. O kanang gi-threaten sa niya ang i-remove ang US if the agreement was not renegotiated in his liking. That's all. Thank you.